Of the jazz compositions to emerge out of South Africa, few stand as iconic as Yakhal'inkomo, recorded in the winter of 1968 by Cape Town-born saxophonist and composer Winston Mankunku Ngozi. Yakhal'inkomo, Portrait of a Jazz Classic, is a monograph that studies the song and the saxophonist who blew it into existence. And the author here uses everything from personal narratives and high theory, prose and photography to get to the heart of his subject. Percy Mabandu joins us and he's got a story to tell about his own life anyway. So as we talk, we'll be fusing the two together. Percy, pleasure to have you.
Finally, I'm here. It's a beautiful thing.
You know, we have to travel so many kilometers all the way from Garankuwa to then come and have this conversation.
Meet in
Santen. Meet in Joburg,
right?
when
we could have met Cobra Ken too.
And then sorted out whatever needs to be sorted out.
Exactly.
But then again, we are brought together by a story from Cape Town.
Here we go.
So, you know, that's one of those unique South African experiences.
Well, when you're from Garankuwa, the world becomes small, you see.
Yes.
yeah.
Well, the Yakhal'inkomo story for you, right?
Yeah.
Winston Mankunku being the icon. You must have fallen in love with the song and it moved you in such a manner that you said, I'm going to go one step further, unlike a typical fan. Just sit back and enjoy and talk about it, but put pen to paper and tell the story.
Yeah, I'm interested in how music, Pratim, how music becomes the magical part of how we live and make meaning of our lives. I grew up in Garankuwa on a very interesting corner. I think when I was a kid in the 80s, there were almost like 6 shebeens, 3 churches, and up the road at the YMCA, the Garankuwa Community Choir, and all of these places will issue with music.
Yes.
Right down the road is Bra Babe's Jazz Tavern. Opposite me, Bra Jake, you know, who's always playing his music late at night. Behind me, my mother's house is Bra Kentu, who's also playing his jazz. And then there's the Baptist Church.
And above the road, Bra Eli.
Bra Eli up the road, you know? So there was all this music.
And it gets worse, Taliban as
well now. You know? But I was always interested in how music was almost like a character, you know, just as these people we are naming were characters in my life and in the life of my community. So the music has always been there, whatever we were going through, this jazz music. But Bra Babes and Bra Jake would always play this song. I mean, I write about this in the book, an experience of how going to the loo in the middle of the night, you know, when the things that frighten a child would be there, the sound, the imagined things, but the soundtrack to that would be this amazing music of Winston Mankunku Ngozi, Yakhal'inkomo, playing, issuing from the tavern or from the houses around me. And I grew up with it. So when I was looking for something to actualize my creativity and my journalism as a writer, I went to the song itself, and I found that this song is interesting in a sense that its timing, the timing of its release, and the life it has lived as an artwork through the years. I found it very interesting, and so I decided to start planning the book.
As you're talking about it, I actually can hear it in my head.
Yeah. It's an there you go. It's an amazing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what did you find in the song? Tell me.
First to begin with it is that the song comes out in the winter of 1968.
Yeah.
1968, obviously, we are still recovering from the massacre of Sharpeville. We're still recovering from 1964's imprisonment of Nelson Mandela and all of those. It's the same year that Martin Luther King is cut down in Memphis, Tennessee, and unleashing race riots in the United States. It's the same year that Paris, the city of life, is under fire. There's also the massacre in Algeria. So the black world, as it were, is in turmoil, right? And if you're Winston Mankunku Ngozi, you're also thinking about the fact that exactly 12 months as you go into studio, your icon, John Coltrane, has just passed on. So there's all this turmoil. There's a reason for the cow to bellow. There's a reason for the cow to cry, as it were. So as an artist concerned with the condition of the people for whom you play, you want to memorialize that. And so Winston Mankunku Ngozi go into studio to bear witness to the wanton murder by the apartheid state. But something interesting is also happening, because in December of 1968, a young man by the name of Steve Biko and his peers break away from NUSAS and begin to launch what becomes SASO, and this is the foundation for a new hope, as it were, the Black Consciousness Movement. And so out of this despair, a new hope is also born. And that is why this song, even though it's about the despair of the age, I mean, it's a beautiful song, you know.
It is.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah.
So there's a joy in the song as much as it is about, it's concerned with very dark subject matter.
Well, let me move away from Mankunku for a moment, because otherwise we have to read the book, right?
Yeah,
Exactly. We can't explain it all the time, all the way.
Exactly.
But did you find pieces of the story as you were putting it together to be a bit biographical in your case?
Yeah.
And you are a man of diverse talents yourself,
Yeah.
writing art critiques for different publications, being a graphic artist, and on and on it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from the book is as much. Well, let me put it this way: the book is not a biography of Winston Mankunku Ngozi.
Yes.
It's the biography of his artwork.
Yes.
This particular work, Yakhal'inkomo, and he went on to produce other amazing records. I mean, 1985 he released Jika, which is another classic, and in the 90s there was Abantwana Be Africa and Molo Africa. So he's done other great work. But I focus on this song because of its historical interest, and for me also it gives me an opportunity to look into my own life as a kid growing up in Ga-Rankuwa, and how the music enriched my otherwise troubled experience in a very interesting time when the tables were turning. Mangope's regime was on its knees alongside the apartheid regime.
Yes.
A new hope. I mean, I remember there was a time when we were not going to school because there were stones everywhere. We were learning what tear gas smelled like as a kid, alongside learning the joy of this music.
Yes.
So it's also about me discovering Mankunku as much as it is about the life of the song. In 1972, Wali Sirote responded to this song with a book of poems called Yakhal'inkomo. The song's naming has everything to do with another visual artist by the name of Dumile Feni, who in fact talks about how he was in the Eastern Cape and saw cows being slaughtered. Yeah. And the other cows which were in a kraal were shaking and they were crying when they witnessed the murder of their kind at the hands of human beings. So it's about all of this complex of issues, and it's about me, coming of age as an artist as well.
Well, Percy Mabandu coming of age as an artist as well, meaning he's still got too many stories to tell. He's a poet, he's an art critic, he's an artist, he's so many things. So we need to have a dedicated interview on your life story yourself. And of course, to also critique what's going on in the creative world in South Africa.
Of this country.
Much appreciated, and everything of the best to you. He's author of the book, Yakhal'inkomo, a jazz classic, portrait of a jazz classic. So go and read more about it. We won't tell you the entire story. Thank you very much,
Thanks for having me, Bertini.
And everything of the best. And that's how we come to the end of the show tonight. Good night to you.